Hey everybody, Andy Brady here. Welcome back to the Easily Amused channel, where I want to take just a little bit of time to talk about using things like Tinkercad, onshape, and some of these other free softwares that will allow you to start actually designing instead of just printing. You know, you can always download files and you can print things with your printers. I mean, you can get a printer and you can print some pretty fantastic stuff that you download that other people have designed. But until you get to the point that you're really thinking, what could I use? What could I benefit from? Then it's kind of like going in Walmart. You buy what's convenient, you buy what's there, and if they don't have what you need, you don't get what you need. But sometimes some very little bit of learning on something like Onshape and Tinkercad can really take you into a whole new direction of 3D printing and really unlock the other 60% of the potential that these machines behind me have in making your life, your household, your whatever easier, more convenient, and just better. Let's get into it. All right, so let's use a very simple and very basic example that is something that makes my life easier, is organizational things. And these are very easy to design, very easy to print. They take minimal effort, and I'm going to show you guys actually exactly how I do it on the computer here in just a minute. But first and foremost, right, so got a whole bunch of these learn to read books for my daughter for summer reading, right? So she gets out of school and we're going to do a lot of summer reading. Well, there's a ton of them. And what's going to happen? They're going to get shuffled up. Well, that's not what I want to have happen. I want something that organizes these. I want something that keeps them sorted by the reading level and everything else. Why? Because I can. That's the most important thing, is that I can. So I got the idea actually because, you know, I'm wearing my Red Sox stuff today, right? So season ticket holders, you know, you end up getting a tremendous amount of tickets for different games, and there's really no good way to organize it. You can throw them all into a bunch of envelopes and you can label them, but they're very confusing, very difficult to go through, figure out where everything goes. And I was able to design very, very easily and quickly print super inexpensively this little organizer that might not even be useful to very many other people. So I'm not going to upload this to, you know, Thingiverse and Printables and Maker World and things like that. But this is something that you could design yourself very quickly, very easily, and turn it into something that would work well for you. And this little thing right here can go into a drawer in my house and make my life 100 times easier. And again, this is not something you're going to find anywhere, because it is literally made specifically for a need that I had. So I took that same design and I expanded it out and basically took the exact same thing and I extended it up, made it taller, and now what I'm able to do is I'm able to actually sort them by reading level in here, and my young daughters are able to actually use the book. They are able to see which ones go in which section, and believe it or not, kids are actually putting things back where they go. And this, going on my bookcase, looks a whole lot better. When I've got a lot of full-size bookcases, these are not falling over. And I've got a couple other use instances that I will show you in just a minute. But most importantly, let's cut over to the computer. Let me show you guys just very briefly what it is that I'm doing in order to make these ridiculously easy organizing devices that you guys could start doing probably within about 20 minutes of tinkering around with Onshape, which is what we'll be using, and get these things printing right now. I've actually got a completely different version printing on this one right now. And over here I have a golf ball holder that I'm printing for a friend because what I needed didn't exist, and a little bit of Tinkercad playing around with, I was able to make it. I've actually got a video where I made a game ball softball holder for hanging on the wall that teaches you how to make keyhole slots on the back of things. I was actually able to take that same exact thing for the softball. I was able to change the measurements. I was able to shrink it down, add a little bit of text on the front, and I'm able to print this out for somebody else, and it's a golf ball. Again, they didn't have what I needed, did not take much learning, much training. I'm not experienced in this. I learned it from YouTube just like you can, and now I've got this printing here, and this hopefully will be done in time for this video so I can show you guys what that is and what it will do. So let's cut over to the computer and let's see what we got going on there. This design of the book sorting organizing device that I just showed you guys, and let's take a quick look and see what exactly that I did to make this happen. Let's take our rollback bar up quite a few steps, and we will see exactly what's going on. So it started off with a very basic sketch. You'll be able to see it right here, where I measured the total width of the books that I needed them to be from front to back. And then the total width from side to side of having every single one of the books lined up and having enough room in between. I did use, a line with an offset tool, and then I did do a linear pattern to have this repeat. I ended up making them 33 millimeters apart, and that actually worked perfect for me. I did make one of them just slightly thicker just because one of the sections of books was a little bit bigger. So let's go ahead and roll this back and show you guys what happened afterwards. So the very first thing that I did is I extruded the exterior perimeter lines, and what that did is that gave us a box with no bottom. So really it's more like a sleeve. Now I'm sure that this would work for some people, especially on a bookcase, but it wasn't really what I was looking for. So then I extruded the bottoms of each one, only a couple millimeters. So I end up with a box that is a sorted box. And again, this could be enough for a lot of people. This would hold all those books perfectly, but you wouldn't be able to really peel the front of them back and see what books they were, which would maybe make the kids a little less interested in reading them. So I ended up adding another sketch onto the surface. Let's see which one I added it to. There we go. Added it right here on the surface, and then I selected this rounded piece right here, and I extruded it as a remove across all, and there you have it. So let's see this thing print, and let's take one final look at it. Now keep in mind I was able to use this same exact design, and I was able to, I named it Ticket Minder, so you could find it on onshape if you really wanted to. And I did basically the exact same process, the exact same procedure, except, let me show you a little bit more on this one because there are quite a few more steps. Actually, it's the exact same amount of steps, it's just a lot more clicking. So this one right here, it is divided, I believe, 34 times. With only a couple millimeters in between each one because, I have 5 tickets or 3 tickets to most all of the games. So I wanted to be able to just kind of sort them from one end of this to the other and actually, be able to see them independently. And as I use the tickets, I can spread them out a little bit more, make it easier to use, and then I'll hold it till next year. So it won't be completely wasted after I'm done with this season. After I did that, same as last time, I extruded the high walls. And this is not going to do really anyone very much good, unless you're trying to filter something and you're trying to design a filter. This might work for you. So the next thing I did is I extruded the bottom. I went 2 millimeters in the opposite direction. That way it just gave one thick base for the entire thing. And again, just like last time, I picked one of the sides, not sure which, and I added a sketch on it. Here we go, a sketch right there. And then I extruded that sketch all the way across so that again I'd be able to see from the side exactly what is it that I'm looking at, what day is the date of the game coming up, and what am I going to see. And then I wasn't going to show you guys, but while I'm at it I might as well. The one that I'm working on now is, I'm American, so we have pocket knives. Everyone in America carries a pocket knife, right? So if you ever need a box cut open, just ask, we got you. So this one's a little bit more complicated because I decided to make it a little bit more fun. Basically, I have enough of them that I wanted to be able to, in the morning, kind of pick, just like I pick my watch every day, be able to pick my pocket knife every day. To some of you, that might be a very foreign concept, but to me it wasn't. So I have a couple repeated lines through here to keep this evenly spaced, with one of them being a little bit thicker. Same thing going the opposite direction. I looked at all of them that I have. I do not have this many. That is a lot. I do not have that many. At least I don't think I do. And I just wanted to be able to have the space to expand if the time came. But just like the other two designs, let me check off this sketch so it starts working. My mouse pad's really giving me some trouble here. And I extruded it. Let me hide the sketch so you don't see all the wires. There you go. And I ended up with a bunch of hollow tubes. Kind of looks like a mailbox at like a school or something, but obviously a whole lot smaller. We're talking 20 and 30 millimeters sorting it out. Again, I did another extrude to bring the base up so that it actually closes it off and it becomes a box. But, that's That's a lot of wasted plastic. It's not quite stylized. Some of the pocket knives might be shorter, some of them might be taller. Same thing might be, might exactly ring true if, let's say, you wanted to make this exact same box and use it for art supplies. Many other things could be sorted this exact same way, not just pocket knives. So I put a sketch on the side of it. This time I freehanded a sketch. I wanted to kind of make it come down like a mountainside, and I did not try to line them up exactly with these because I thought it would actually look better if it kind of happened a little bit more naturally in between. And then again, just like last time, I chose the top, I extruded it as a remove all the way across, and this is what we ended up with. And so this should give me the ability to put, some shorter objects here, medium objects, taller objects, and then the really oversized ones that I would never carry on a daily basis, back here as well. And then again, this could be used for a lot of different things, art supplies and such. So I think the bottom down here is maybe about 25 millimeters up to about 65. So, if you were printing this exact same thing and you wanted to put markers in here, pens, paints, whatever it might be, this might be a lot taller. But, again, the point is we're using the exact same design concept for all of these, and we are making 4 devices that are going to make my life much easier for sorting. And the very last one that I'll show you guys that uses pretty much the same concept that, again, I didn't think I was going to show you until I actually got in here and decided let's look at it, is a caddy for when you are done at the end of the day and you need to take all the stuff out of your pocket. Oh, I will update later. Got to get all the things out of your pocket, and where do you put them? So what I did is I discussed with my son, what does he have in his pocket every single day? What does he need to have in here? And we designed it around it. So for example, this rounded part right up here, this actually perfectly holds his headphones and holds the USB-C cable on the back side of it so that it's easily able to charge while it's in the dock. Right, same thing with this. This is actually his phone mount, and the reason that there is a cutout right here is because he has a pop socket, and we didn't want the pop socket to be in the way, and we kind of went the lazy way because, it's not mine, it's my son's, and the USB port just comes out of the top. So one plug here, both devices can charge. This is a pretty standard design for eyeglass holders. So, if you wore sunglasses, you could use those, but I myself and my son would both wear glasses. They go in here. And as I said before, we're American. Even our children have pocket knives. This is a perfectly fit slot for his pocket knife, his whittling knife. He does not carry that every day, but might want to go out in the woods and whittle a knife and a stick. Sorry, and then right up here, this is kind of a throw your change in here, throw whatever else in here. I've got the sides with a nice radius so that you can easily scoop everything out. But there's a whole lot more stuff on here because I did make it a little bit more decorative because I knew that it'd be seen a lot more. But for the most part, it's going to start the same way as many other things started. It's going to be a sketch where we started with all the measurements and we went from there to design exactly what he needed. So let me actually take a look at the sketch, and you can see we did exact measurements for what it was we were looking to use. And after we did that, we were able to start extruding. And we chose individual lines. And, sorry, got to select yes on the sketch. So individual lines, extruded certain places in certain ways because of different heights. Again, I added the bases just now, as you saw. So now they are actually cups. They are actually holders. This one, I wanted it to be flat because they don't actually need to hold the glasses there because the glasses actually end up being held here. So there's a couple different extrusions in order for me to get the sizing just right. And then, of course, glasses won't fit in that very well. Let's skip down a couple more extrusions, getting all this done. Oh, let me quickly tell you, this right here is to hold a smartwatch, but then he broke the smartwatch. So I have not quite added the upper part right here that will hold the smartwatch because I want to wait and see what he ends up using, whether it's just a basic watch or whatever. And then after playing around with some chamfers a little bit, we were able to start rounding some edges. We were adding, all of these different features to it that start to make it look a little bit better, make it look like something that's professionally made. I rounded the inside right there so that it would hold the pocket knife perfectly flat, even though the knife is not flat. And, we skip way down here. And by the time we start getting down here, you'll see we are rounding all this stuff out. We've started adding these, the cutaway for the pop socket. And, finally, when all was said and done, we end up with this item right here, which I'll show you guys in person that, you know, again, I haven't finished the top up here, but gives you kind of an idea that with pretty minimal design work, really just using a ruler, a caliper, you don't even need the calipers depending on how accurate you want to be. I was able to design something that he's able to use every single day. He gets done, you know, with the day. He's able to take everything out of his pockets, throw it in these places, throw those pants back in the drawer or throw them in the laundry, wherever they go. And then the next morning he can see that everything's there. And then we can also see whenever something goes missing. You know, we can quickly see that, you know, where's the pocket knife, you know, where are your glasses, because they're not on your face and they're not in their stand. You know, where are your Bluetooth headphones? Where'd you set them down? Did you lose them? So, again, very minimal actual design work whenever it comes down to it. And so I highly recommend that you really watch some onshape learning videos. I actually learned using the Teaching Tech videos, which I've linked to many times before in my videos, and I will keep referring people back to it because it definitely changed my usage on 3D printing. And it changed it from me just, you know, clicking other people's work and printing to really being able to customize it for what I need it for and what's going to benefit me in my daily life.
Just a quick capture to show you guys how it actually works. So it's sloped down so it holds this level, got the hole in the back so the pop socket fits in there, and of course, like every kid, broken screen, headphones, fit perfectly in here. Turn it this way so that we can get the charging out of the top and out of the back. Glasses, perfect fit down in here, and then of course, whatever it is to throw in here, easy to scoop out. There, that is. All right, everybody, it is late, but I just got notification that the bamboo is done printing, and I just wanted to point out a couple little things. One, it's done. It is extremely stringy, something that I've never really had an issue with before. And I've had this enclosure going for quite a while. You can check some of my previous videos, and you can see how well it's been working. And I've got this drying tent with a heater in it that's been running forever. Before, these were upstairs, not in the basement. You know, basements are moist, they're damp, the humidity's high. Even though I do run a dehumidifier, it keeps it around 50% humidity. This used to be upstairs where I ran the air conditioning all the time, so I never ever had an issue with filament being stringy. And the heater went out in this drying tent, so I'm going to be recording yet another, so it'll be the third update, or the second update, third total video on the dry tent that I made. What has happened since the heater stopped working in there. Now I've got to replace the heater because the stringiness has been astronomical. I did a couple other test prints since, you know, or before this one that were stringy as well, and now is when I'm really just getting to the point that every color's doing it, everything I'm pulling out of there is doing it, but anything out of a fresh package is not doing it. So the dry tent was working. I need to get it working again. Gonna get it working again. So stay tuned for another video on that. But let me turn the camera around, show you how this knife block is supposed to work. All right, everybody, again, so the whole point of this was, you know, I am an American. We carry lots of knives. We don't always necessarily carry them all at once, but we own a lot. Or maybe we only own a couple, but they are special to us. And having a nice place where we can put them in here and organize them. Goodness gracious, it seems like I really might actually have enough to fill this thing up. I might be printing a second one of these things. As you can see, I can find different slots. Where do they fit? There's the thinnest place that it fits. Makes it look good. Put it in here. And what I should be able to end up with is a nice little organization system where, like I said, wake up in the morning, pick out my watch for the, oh, that one doesn't fit. Doesn't have a place. Oh, there we go. Pick out my watch for the day. Pick out your belt for the day. Pick out your pocket knife for the day. You know, if you don't have a pocket knife, you know, lighters would fit in here, tools would fit in here, whatever else you wanted to use. But there you have it, guys. It's not the most beautiful thing I've ever built. In fact, I'm probably going to reprint it, probably make it quite a bit taller so that everything kind of holds a little bit more upright. Maybe change some of the spacing here and there. But it's definitely going to work for what I want it to do for now. So I'm definitely not going to be in a rush to reprint this. I'm glad to finally be able to see, you know, them all, well, most of them all in one place. You know, this is just more to show you what can be done when you actually decide to start 3D printing things on your own. Well, if there's one thing hopefully you learned, is if you stay up really late waiting on it to print, you're going to be tired. If you have enough pocket knives to fill up a caddy like this,
maybe you need to record a video about knives, the best ones, the ones that you don't like quite as much. But hopefully you guys took away from this video the fact that very little design concept and knowledge can help you guys to really utilize your printer in a way that you might not be using it now. And if you guys like this content, this is only the second or third video I've done with some onshape kind of design work, tutorial work. As I said before, I'm not an expert in this, but if you'd like to see more stuff about how I'm using it, because I do use it quite a lot, so I have figured out a bunch of intricacies and little things that you can do to make it work for you, leave a comment down below. I mentioned it earlier in the video, check out Teaching Tech. They've got a whole series on onshape, and it is fantastic. It is absolutely what got me started even trying to do this. The next video that I got going up is whiskey ice balls versus cubes versus something else, and I'll be actually 3D printing the cubes so I can replicate it with it. So I always use a little bit of everything in my videos, back and forth between them all. But if you can like and subscribe, thank you so much for watching. Andy Brady with the Easily Amused channel. Have a good day.